It is undeniable that StarCraft is one of the most difficult, challenging, complex, also rewarding games that have ever been made. I've been playing StarCraft since I was, I guess, 15 or 14, since middle school. And, you know, as someone who's been a student of the game for a long time, I can tell you that, like, there's a lot more resources for English speakers for StarCraft 2 than there are for StarCraft 1. Over the last month, in my spare time, I've been grinding a lot. And, you know, Artosis and I have talked about this together a decent amount. You know, because StarCraft 1 is so Korean-centric, right? All the best players are Koreans. It doesn't mean there's not good players at S rank or at high levels outside of Korea. You've got DeWalt, you've got Bonneth, you've got Hawk, you've got a lot of good players out there. But the reality is most of the guides and most of the best players are in the Korean ecosystem. Now, when you look at StarCraft 2, you know, you've got players like Cyril, the best player in the world, English speaker, Clem, you know, obviously a French speaker, but can speak English, Raynor, able to speak English. You have access to players and talent out there who are the very best in the world that can give you guides and teach you how to learn the game. So the reason why I'm bringing this up is I have discovered that there are actually fully translated guides in English, translated from Korean to English, and all you got to do is join a Patreon. So this is the Patreon for The Rise of IR, not a sponsor for this channel or anything. I signed up for this like 3 months ago, and I kind of didn't get around to actually looking at it. But I thought, okay, this is a cool project that they're doing. I want to support this. And then this month, I started actually going through the guides. Oh my God, they're so good. I've always been a player that, and maybe you can relate to this if you play a lot of StarCraft, you can watch someone do a strategy and kind of then go into your own game and do it on your own. Kind of like if you taste a certain meal, you might be able to go home and cook it, or you can see someone play a couple chords on a guitar, and then you can go back and get your own guitar and play that. So I always thought that I could probably just self-teach between the casting and then just the time that I would play. These guides are so good. We're gonna leave links to the to each of the guides. There's one for Protoss, one for Terran, one for Zerg. The Protoss one is The Rise of Ire on Patreon. The other one for Zerg is School for Zergs. Terran guide is Terran Academy. So I want to show you guys some of these guides and what they can do. And, you know, each of the pro gamers has a subscription model on their YouTube where you can get access to their lessons. And basically what these are is they're hand selecting certain lessons and then translating them into English so that you can use these. I did a video a long time ago talking about how you could get access to pro gamer guides and then use the auto translate to learn from there, but they're not as good. Also, a lot of times they have the Korean speech on for the end game, so then that's popping up when it's auto translated. And even for me, like, my Korean is okay, but when it comes to like really complicated explanations for strategy and stuff like that, I can definitely kind of lose my place in what they're trying to say. So these have been incredible. So, like, here's an example of one of Best's guides, and this is one of the more basic ones. This is how to stop a Ling All-In, you know, off of Overpool if you've gone Gateway Expand. And he points out that you need to make a shield battery here. Now, as an example, I didn't know that. I always made the Forge anyways. I thought you just had to have a really, really close match and barely get that Forge up in time. And no, apparently this is the answer, is to get a battery down here. So for a lot of the basic stuff, it's really, really handy. I think a lot of times because people talk about APMs so much, they kind of think of StarCraft as this game where you're just sort of doing everything really fast and it's all about speed. And that's kind of true, but honestly, a lot of the game is sort of knowing what to focus on, what to prioritize, and when to do what. And these guides are pretty perfect for that. So I don't think there's a person in the world who couldn't benefit from these. So this one was great here, basically explaining how to hold that Ling All-In off. I don't think it's going to come up here while we're doing this, but he basically says, yeah, you always need just about 5 probes. I think he mentions it later. Just about 5 probes with the Zealots and the battery to hold this rush off. And the reason why 5 is a perfectly fine number is that they're not going to be making drones back at home. So you're still able to kind of stay ahead of them in that regard. There is another one here. So this is one that I thought was great. This is almost a 40-minute lecture on Nexus First. And here's another great example. Minnie explains how to stop the SCV Marine Vulture all-in. That if you go for Nexus First, you've probably experienced this countless times, right? And it's really hard to hold off. It was one of the reasons why I personally didn't go Nexus First for, the first couple years when I came back to playing Brood War. But he basically shows that what you want to do is when you see the rush coming, you put the Zealots behind the army and then let your Dragoons and Probes fight in the front. And I've started using this, and it makes an insane difference. They also have a lot of these, like, deep build order explanations, kind of how... There's one that Snow has that's great for how to roam with your army to take fights, and kind of what your mindset's supposed to be. And here you go. You can see he's going to have the Dragoons and the Probes in the front here. The Zealots come in the back. And I'm basically not losing to rushes like this very often anymore. It's become just so much easier. And it's something as simple as like having the Zealots in the back. I would have always kept the Zealots in the front. I didn't realize you need to flank with that. And that's really what's the most important thing. And they've even got some very basic ones here, like Snow's. I'm going to turn this down just a little bit. Snow does one for PvP, and it's a very basic, like, here's how you want to tech up. Go into, I'll move the subtitles up here so you guys can see. And, yeah, sorry, I lost my train of thought here. But this is like a great basic guide for how to run a PvP off of one gate. Really helpful stuff. They also have, in these Discords, PDF files explaining, for instance, when you're going Forge Expand, when you see what the Zerg's doing, how you know exactly what kind of build order it is, which is actually pretty complicated to spot. Like, is this Overpool? Is this Hatch on 9? Is this Pool on 9, but with no gas, which might look like Overpool? They have a great breakdown of that kind of stuff there. So, basically, each of these Patreons, you sign up for them, you join the Discord and notify them, and then you get access to all these great tools. And I wanted to put this out here because, honestly, I feel like nobody knows about these. I know a lot of people that come by my Twitch stream and ask, how can I get into this game? And the truth is, like, I have some videos on YouTube. My brother has some, so does Artosis. But they're not that in-depth. And the reality is, like, anything that I could teach you guys about the game isn't going to be relevant to compare to what, like, Best or Snow or Minnie can teach you. So... one of the beautiful things about StarCraft 1 is this game's not going to go away. It's been out for a quarter of a century. Every time I'm on the train or the bus out in Korea or in a cafe, I can look over and see people watching this game on their phone. It's still huge. And the reason why I'm bringing that up is it's not too late to pick it up. But I always, even for someone who lives in Korea and works in the StarCraft industry, I always kind of thought, man, you do feel a little bit like an outsider as a foreigner, not being able to access all these tools immediately. But with this, you can really improve. I think if you're like an S-rank player, there's still a ton of stuff you can learn. So we're going to leave links to the Discords and the Patreons. I would highly recommend you sign up. And basically, every month, they upload a new guide from one of these pros. So some of these are older, some of these are brand new. But it's an excellent way to learn. Because once you get past the mechanical part of StarCraft, and you have, I would say, above 200 APM, and you've got your hotkey set up and everything like that. A lot of it comes down to theory, knowing build orders, and there's a lot of secrets in these guides that these guys show that have massively helped my gameplay. So if it's helping me, and I've been playing this game forever, and I feel like I can hang with most players, definitely there's going to be some stuff in here for you. So I wanted to share that with you guys. Links will be in the description, and let other people know. I know a lot of people have looked at Brood War and said, this looks fun, but I don't know how I could even get started. And But with these guides, you can definitely catch up pretty quickly. If you're an RTS person or a StarCraft 2 person in general, I think this is a great resource for you. So thank you so much for watching my video. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you're going to sign up, or if you, yeah, I don't know, put a comment in there. This is a YouTube video. We got to game that algorithm. And feel free to join me on my Twitch stream. I will be doing scary games all through the month of October for the Halloween season. Appreciate you guys. I'll see you in a future video. Bye-bye.